Okay, so are we ready? Yes, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you. So, up to the next speaker. um, so, um, as a host, one of my jobs is not only to make you comfortable, but also make the speakers comfortable. So, to ease her a bit into this, I guess, setup, I've been requested to do a small sort of introductory interview. So I'm going to sit with you, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You may sit even.
No. It's all about you. I'm just here to, support you. So, so, hi.
Hi.
So, who are you? What's your name?
So my name is Quinn Liu, and I am a mixed media artist and a indie game developer, currently based in Los Angeles, and I do a lot of in-person kind of interactive installation. Perhaps you have walked by my installation, which is a big furry creature that moves around. And yes, I do a lot of embodied interactions, experiences.
Oh, how cool! How cool! So, what are you going to talk to
Yeah.
with us? What are you going to share with us?
So basically, I have two works that I want to share with you guys, and I want to basically talk about how people in current days sometimes are a bit isolated from their own body, and I really want to bring back sort of the embodied feeling in one of those interactions that you will play, in games and also in on-site participation, and how to really engage with our body and how to design the controllers as the other body that we not seeing as something that we control, but seeing as something that feels alive, that we could care for, that isn't just a cold machinery that reacts and anticipates what you do, but actually understands and gets you and sees you as a more human way. So that's what I'm going to talk about today.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, that's very cool. So, final question before
Yes.
I sort of leave and let you get to it. So, why have you become so fascinated making this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so that is a really good question, and I feel like since I was coming from a game design background, so I make a lot of digital games, and while I was making them, sometimes as a developer, it's not about it's not always about cool designs or cool visuals that you have in these brainstorming sessions. It's sometimes often about like 3 hours of debugging or looking at Unity console till very late at night, and that makes you want to jump up of the chair and just start dancing or something. So it's really hard. It's a really hard process for you to be alone as an indie developer without a community to support you or to support in your work, and you have to deal with problems on your own. But in terms of interactive installations and like physical stuff, you can invite other people into the process of making, and you can invite everybody to participate in the interactions that you have set up for them. So it's more of a kind of bilateral that something really kind of you gain energy from the participants that actually try your work. So it's really a two-way street in those more physical works. So that's why I've been mostly drawn to do those in my side quests time. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, well, are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you all ready for this talk? Applause?
Woo! Thank
Then
you.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah.
An applause.
All right. So really good to see you guys here, and I'm gonna start doing. We already been through this, so this is unnecessary. But my big hack shot on there, and I am a founder of a Dachu Interactive, which is a studio that does commission work for making art and installation pieces, and also games. So, really want to talk about how do we even design different feelings of aliveness in these interactive interfaces. Sometimes when you look at interfaces, they're just a bunch of wood or steel or controller, buttons that you interact with. You have no emotions towards them, and frankly, you don't really care about, how they're modulated or how they feel in your hands. But with more physical stuff, you have to consider that does it have a relationship with you? Like if you're talking to AI, is it just like a 2D rendering image, or is it just lines of text? But if you want to feel more of a human connection to these machinery that you are actually interacting with, then maybe we could consider some other ways of designing these interfaces to make it more humanly understandable. And also the other thing is, how do we engage with our bodies in these kind of experiences? So these two works, first is InSync, the other is How to Paracat. These are the two very fun, very different projects that I have been working on and I have showcased everywhere. So I will go into details of what these two works are. So InSync is a hybrid XR installation. It explores how bodily and spatial awareness can reopen pathway to empathy and connection in a really increasingly mediated world by TikTok and short form video and also like many fake newses that we can to connect it today. So in this experience, you go into a shadowy cave and you hear the calls of Omu, this physical creature that is asking for your help to gain its spiritual form by actually putting your hands on the physical creature to help them gain more of a spiritual shape in the VR. And the inspirations, I don't know if anyone of you have seen the movie Arrival. It basically is that there's an alien creature that is out of our understanding. They don't speak our language. They just arrive one day on Earth and try to communicate with human being. So I was interested in the concept of indirect communication. So how do you even understand each other? If I don't speak English, right? And if you guys don't maybe speak German and people can't really talk to each other. How do you understand each other in that way? And it's not just humans. It's also about, other creatures, animals, like how do you understand your pets? How do you interact with them? So it's a really non-linguistic communication that I was interested about. And the other is, more embodied activations form of experiences like Team Lab. They have really big, kind of these sandy, wavy platforms that once you step on it, you can actually influence the other people in the space, because your body is affecting the other people's state of living. So next is, so InSync is about embodiment, intimacy, and embracing vulnerability. When you put on a VR headset and you walk in the dark, it's really a terrifying experience. I don't know if any of you have walked blindfoldedly. It's really takes courage to understand and to be able to kind of seek for new kinds of interaction. So these are some of the ways that we want to make this creature work. So we really want it to feel as alive as possible. So we do a lot of animatronic controlling. We put motors inside to focus on recreating the live signals of this creature to make it feel, not just look alive, but feel alive. When you put your hands on it, you can feel like on your pet's belly, you feel it up and down fluctuating. And you see on those touch sensors can actually detect your location of touch, and that's how they change the rate of breathing. And we also have heartbeat, and also we make some really interested experiments in its tail movement. We want it to be really organic and not have a feeling of a human hand touching you, which could be weird in a VR experience. So we decided to basically build it in a mechanical engineering way or a very kind of animatronic way. And you know how to create a warm therapeutic experience instead of a horrifying one, right? You're in the VR headsets and you can't see anything, but there's this moving creature that you have to closely interact to. It can come to really a lot of things. One of them is, you know, soundscape and sound effects. And, you know, you can't have any sudden sounds. Obviously, it's not like you're in a haunted house, right? You're dark and there's some subtle movements that could really startle you. So really, our experience is to create a warm, therapeutic experience, it cannot be any sudden movement. So, and we also want sounds that create space instead of that create 360 movement around your headset that makes you feel like this is a flowing ambience. If I could show you, could not audio. Well, that makes sense because we don't have Wi-Fi. Well, maybe not. So these two are the creature sound effects, actually. So if we had got time later, we can show it to you. But and the other one is materiality. So I choose a furry kind of look of the creature instead of a really kind of scale one. Like in terms of creating a dragon, you think of scales and you think of other maybe, you know, you can make skins out of silicone, but when you put your hands on it, we did material testing, and in the testing we found out that it's easier for people to associate soft warmth and natural material with feelings of safeness and openness. And if you are bringing to being something harsh like metal or really harsh like leaves or rocks, that makes people feel, okay, what am I touching? Is this dangerous? Yeah. So also to create an organic live feeling, you have to avoid humid and slimy, because if someone touches something really watery or slimy when they can't really see what that is, they will feel really scared. And that's just what we learned from the material testing. Yeah, that will become the alien from the Alien movie. And so how do we make it interactive? So we made custom-made pressure sensors that could cover a large body of the creature's body. So it makes them basically wherever you put on your hands on the creature, we can detect the location and the pressure of your touch, and then we could use it to tell the creature that, you know, what does this touch mean? Did someone just touch some place that you don't want them to touch? So the creature has a mind of their own in this case, and we want that to not be a passive experience. What we want the creature to actually react and actually kind of dominate their reactions to you. They actually react back to you and let you know that their reaction matters, instead of just a computer, you know, I entered one and then there's a graphic showing, but instead the creature actually tells you what they feel, and that creates the empathy feeling. And and here we're going to another game which we totally use the same technology that I just showed you. It's it's a controller arcade game featuring a giant cat butt controller where two players pet a giant plush cat butt to battle for the virtual cat's affection. So in here we also use our controller, we also use the touch pressure sensors and the Unity game system. It's basically, if you're talking about like technology is basically the same, but these two games, these two projects experience are really, really different in terms of the emotions they convey. And this one, it really lowers social pressure. Everyone can relate to this project and also starts conversation about what this is, and they can have fun together, competing each other. It's a social game, and there are some kind of embarrassment, but it's good. It's for social ice breaking, and people can do basically however they feel about this cat, and the cat would just show if they like it or not in the Unity game. So they learn the ways of interacting with a creature, just like in InSync. It's sort of a way for them to treat the controller. And it's very intuitive. Everyone wants the hand on it, even the kids. So kids love my projects, apparently. They just loved furry, big, moving things. So that is very lowers the bar of who can play and who can have fun in these projects. That is a really important message that we need to consider for more embodied play, because where are the boundaries and where are the standards, right? And in these in these experiences, your body, because it is being observed, you're being observed by the audience, because you're in the public exhibition space. So while you are participating in these games, you're also becoming the performance object. Like your body becomes the object that other people are spectating, sorry. So, you become the part of the work in that way. So, why does one makes people laugh and the other makes people shed tears? It's a very different emotional reaction that you can get from these tactile projects. Why? My thinking is that, framing, technology is neutral, but when you lay eyes on the How to Parrot Cat, is colorful, loud, like you will know instantly that it's a ridiculous fun thing. There's no standard. You are not judged in any way in your skills to play this. So there's open invitation to be silly, just to mess around. But in Sync, you are invited in a VR headset. You're all alone in this space and being really intimate with this creature that has a heartbeat and warmth, and that really invites people to take it seriously and be allowed to be vulnerable in that sense. And the other is form. I want to talk about the pre-linguistic intuitions. Yes, and thank you. So basically, your body knows actually a lot more than you know. It's a subconscious and conscious mind conflict. So in these kind of games, it really brings your intuition out, because you have to figure, all of those social rules doesn't apply anymore. The rules that you know how to play a game doesn't really apply anymore. You have to figure it out and explore by yourself. And the last one is pacing. In How to Parrot Cat, it's very instant in terms of gameplay design. So once you touch, you will see the cat's reaction immediately on the screen, and it jumps around if they're unhappy. And if they're happy, there will be little hearts coming out. So it's very, very visual and very instant feedback thing. So it requires it to be a fast-paced comedy piece. And in that way, in that design. And InSync, it's slow, it reminds it rhythmic, it reminds you to slow your pace down and to actually pay attention to where you touch and pay attention to how your body interact with the creature. So in those three ways, I think that is the reason why these two projects are different, even they use the same technology. And that brings to the end, creating this emotional feelings is why I keep making these works. And when you feel the controller and whatever you're interacting with is alive and you have to respect and feel their presence, then that means they will leave a really long-lasting feeling in your body, and you will remember it no matter if it's active or passive. You will remember it, and that's really powerful for players. It's a really empowering experience. So and that's all, and I'm up for Q&A, and this is my contact information. You can always contact me and my company. We're broke indie artists, but we are looking for fundings as well. But thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Quinn. Any questions? Any questions? Oh, there.
Well, okay.
Let's go there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There.
Hi, thank you so much for your talk. It brought up so many different questions, but I guess I'll just stick to
Yeah.
the first one and maybe ask some later. So I was very curious about, because I could really imagine that much of this could have just been a physical installation. So I was very curious about the VR part and what made you decide to combine those things, and yeah, what interested you in that combination. You mentioned a little bit of the isolation part and it feeling private, but you could also, of course, have a private room. So I was just very interested what specifically in that combination interested you.
You mean the digital and
yeah, merging the VR specifically and the physical installation.
Yeah, so I guess in these works, I feel like the medium is really important, like why you choose these medium. Like I choose the physical medium for its obvious reasons, but digital is a way of reimagining our relationship with these physical things, because physical things can, metamorphosize, like they can just turn into something else, and it has its own limitations. But in order for your imagination to be flown and to grow, I feel like a certain amount of digital content will aid to that and will actually cultivate even more interesting combination of reaction to the, if it's just a tactile feedback alone. So I feel like it also stimulates the mind and it stimulates the body. So I feel like digital part stimulates the mind, and physical part stimulates the body, and that's why I choose this combination. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the beautiful work you do. I have a question. Did you ever consider using your work outside of sort of an artistic context? By which I mean, we've seen the success of, for example, robotic cats in reducing anxiety and stress in elderly people, but with the far more sophisticated stuff you do, I can imagine it could be very interesting, for example, to make something that brings down the barriers for people with tactile defensiveness that are heavily on the autistic spectrum, for example. Yeah.
I won't rule out for that, and I'm actually pretty curious about using my work to in a health or science related topic, because I feel like it could really help people rather than just engage people and let them come to know this way, know this world in another way. So I feel like in that way, we're actually using the work to do, something meaningful and something impactful. And I just think it needs much more research rather than just the playtest that I do. It's not serious games. We all know it needs social, it needs research. So I feel like it's not just make it juicy, make it reactful, and make it good design, level design, whatever. It's more about the social implications and how actually like clinically, helpful is that. So I feel like yes, but we definitely need to collaborate with more social workers and researchers to make that happen. Yeah.
Thank you. I was curious about how you got into these animatronics. Is this something you did before, or did you learn how to make
Nope.
these for your installations?
Nope, I didn't know nothing about this till a year ago. So, you know, you can learn a lot of things with like online maker community, and they're really helpful in order to, for instance, they post a lot of like tutorials and complete modules that you could rip off. I mean, they are open source, but you can basically use it and modify it into your use. So I feel like that's also why I like game community, because it's the same. We start from modeling, not modeling, how do you say, mod these games, and then we make different mods, and that's how we become to make games, and feel like it's the same for the makers community. It's just we use different materials, and I feel like really everyone can do it. You just have to trust the process. There will be frustrations, and there will be times where you are super confused and hardware broke down, and no, don't mention to, you know, to actually build the stuff. But you know, if you are patient enough with your process, everyone can do it. I'm not a hardware engineering background. I am not even an engineering background, but I still managed to do most of these animatronics with the right collaborators. So I believe if you believe in the process, you can do it. Yes.
Thank you.
We got time for one more.
Hi, thank you so much for your talk. I was wondering, what is the team? You say with the right collaborators. How did you find your team, or researchers? Or?
Yes, so I was a student at MFA student at University of Southern California, and in my program, it's a games design program. So all of the students are majored in you know, engineering, game art, audio, that we all kind of familiar about, but none of them actually knows how to build physical things or do physical computing. But there are people, our program is welcome interdisciplinary people, so there are people transferred from HCI, for instance, human computer interface research, and so there are some people with researcher background, and also in order to do research, they have to be in contact with mechanical engineers to actually build infrastructures, to have testers to test the module. So what I do was I post everywhere in the Discord channel and in our school, and also I'm very fortunate because my thesis advisor at the time was Joe Gunton. He was the vice president of Disney interactive department. So he has a lot of connections, and basically I reach out to everyone I can and find my collaborators. Our core team is a team of 7 with, fabricators, audio designer, composers, and hardware designers. So we basically, because of this project of these visions, we are gathered together and try to make this work. So yeah, so reach out everywhere, I guess. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Quinn. An applause.
Thank you so much.